Today, March, we're still in the month of March, right? And if you remember, in the book of Esther, chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, because I will be dealing with all these chapters, there's a story. It's a story about a woman named Esther. And there is one important thing about this book. This is the only book in the whole Bible that doesn't mention the name of God. Can you believe that? No mention of God whatsoever. But, again, let me just point this out. It doesn't mean that because the book of Esther did not mention God and it's out of the picture. No. It doesn't really mean that when we don't mention the name of God and God is not working, God is still God. God will still be God, and God will still work with or without you or me. Hard truth, right? It's like a punch in the face. And when I read this, I said, oh Lord, you just punched me in my jaw. I got knocked out. Because I thought that God will not work without me. I don't believe that. God still works even without you, and me. It's still the same God who will work within His plan and His discretion. March, the month of March is actually devoted to women. Last week, or a few weeks, like 2 weeks ago, we celebrated Women's Day, right? We have Women's Day celebration, International Women's Day. But I will suggest that we can also celebrate women every Sunday. So women, forget about your color. God is not really interested of your color. Just women, simple, generic women. God is interested of you. And I also say, God is also interested of men. So, this is how God is extending His love and His mercy, and He just don't want to see us divided by our chairs, left chair, right chair, middle chair. No, God is still God, no matter what happened. March, because it's important, because this also marks in the calendar, in the book of Esther, the month is called the month of Adar. And Adar is equivalent to our time now as the month of March. That means, when we talk about the month of March, women's and Esther, we will connect them together because this is an important time for women and men to make decision for God. Let's roll the chapters. Chapter 1 talk about Esther. Go back to that chapter 1. Chapter 1 talks about Queen Vashti. Okay? Queen Vashti. Of course, the queen cannot live without a king. The king is named Ahasuerus, or sometimes it's also called as Xerxes. But I believe this is Xerxes the second. Xerxes or Ahasuerus. Being a governor or a king who dominated 127 provinces, is like bigger than United States. U.S. is only 50 states and 6 territories. So 56. Maybe he has a bigger influence. King Xerxes has bigger influence because he covered Persia and Media. The Medians and the Persians were also under him. That's why his officers and counselors are Persians, Medians, in that matter. 127 provinces. So it's 127 states all over put together. So that means it also includes different languages from all this domain where Xerxes is also the king, as recognized king. So with that, because of his clout and influence, and when he came to power, Xerxes made a banquet for all the nobles and the prince and all the powerful people under him for 180 days straight, no stop. Drink, let them drink what they want to drink. Let them eat what they want to eat. So very, very luxurious, and like he was just off. He want to please 127 provinces, and all their leaders gathered together for 180 days. But of course, he did not forget the people that's also within his domain, his palace in the citadel of Susa. And he made it like 7 or 8 days for them. But the same order, let the people eat what they want to eat, let them drink what they want to drink. Chapter 1 describes about Queen Basti. And then, what happened? When all the nobilities are gathering, the king got so excited. And of course, got drunk. He got so drunk and said to his counselor, "Hey, bring my wife Basti. Bring him in, bring her in. Because I want to let the people see how beautiful my wife is." So, the eunuch, because they have eunuch before, they have a lot of eunuch. The one that takes care of the palace are actually eunuchs. You don't want to describe what a eunuch is, so just research it. So, when the eunuch asked Basti to please come and grace the presence of the king, Basti said, "No, I'm not going." And so it angered the king, and it shamed the king to a lot of people. And his counselor said, "Their king, we cannot tolerate this kind of reaction, or this kind of manner, or this kind of hostility that is given by Basti. So we have to drop her off, and we need to discipline her. We need to find a new replacement for a queen." And so Basti was dethroned, deposed. She's no more the queen. And then they started the process of searching for a new queen. And the process is like 12 months. In 12 months' time, they need to find a queen. And so the king ordered, according to his counselors, find all the women in our domain, in the provinces, and find the women that are virgin, beautiful, and attractive. And so they gathered. And here comes Mordecai. Mordecai is actually a descendant of Benjamin. And then he also has been part of the people who were gathered all over, and they were captives, and they become slaves to the Persians and the Medians. Mordecai had a cousin. His cousin is named Hadassah, which later on became Esther. So he said, go there and be a participant to the search for the queen. So Esther passed, and then she was taken care by 7 eunuchs and maids around her to take care of her for 12 months. So 6 months, she will have to be oiled. I don't know how they do that. The oil and myrrh. And then they have to be given perfumes and something to eat that's healthy. So when they face the king, they will look healthy, beautiful, and what else? The king will be attracted to whoever that is in front of her. 12 months. Imagine 12 months. And so, what happened now is that Mordecai, after turning over Esther, was still coming in and out of the gate because he cannot go inside the king's palace. So he was trying to check with this guy named Hatak. And Hatak is actually a eunuch that takes care of the harem, the girls or the women that are inside the palace, preparing them for the king. He's checking them every now and then. And then, here comes another character in the story. The name of the guy is Haman. Haman is actually a descendant of Agathite, and the Agathites are descendants of Amalek or Amalekites. If you remember, Amalekites are the descendants coming from Esau. Esau is the twin brother of Jacob. Okay? They are twin brothers. But when you give the credit, they always say it's Jacob and Esau. Although Esau is the older, but Esau gave up his rights to the family through a bowl of porridge. But Jacob took the best part of the inheritance, which is the blessing coming from their father Isaac. So, because of this, it has become a long-term family feud that they were fighting about inheritance and who will really take the grandstand in the inheritance. So Haman, one time, as a simple guy, and got promoted as an official of King Xerxes. And then he said, I want all people to not just to kiss the ring of the king, but also they have to kiss me and bow before me. But there was a problem. Mordecai did not bow unto Haman. So the feud was again reopened. And then Haman got excited and got interested. Who is this guy who don't want to kiss me and to bow on me? And when he found out that Mordecai was a Jew, the raids started to boil up. Now let's go a little bit for Esther. Who is Esther? Esther is actually a Persian name which means hidden or secret. Because the truth of the matter is, Mordecai wanted to hide the identity and the nationality of Esther. He don't want no people to know that he is a Jew or a Jewish lady. Because Esther has no parents, and so Mordecai took Esther as like his own family. When he submitted Esther's name to be one of the candidates as queen, they changed the name from Hadassah, which is a beautiful name, which means peace, love, and prosperity. But again, when the Persians got the name Esther, they found a different name to the word Esther. And they look at Esther now as the star. Can you believe that? Don't ever doubt that your name has no meaning. It has a meaning, and you have to know what that is. Because it is very important. God placed you in this world with a name, and if you don't stand by your name, it's a disgrace. That's why I am Feliz. You can call me Feliz Navidad. Prospero año, felicidad. Feliz, Felix, Felicito. My other close friend call me Felix Berto. It's fine. Call me whatever. It's still Felix. Felix, happy. Felicity, happy. I have all reason to be happy. Am I right? And you have all the reason to be happy with your name in it. So, Esther. Going back to Esther. Esther's name has been hidden, or Hadassah, which is her Hebrew name, has been hidden in a secret by Mordecai. And then here comes the robust leader of the army of King Xerxes, Haman. And Haman said, who is this guy who don't bow and don't honor me? And he said to himself, I will come back to you. What makes Mordecai so important in the picture is this. There was a plot actually against the king. And the one who is the whistleblower and told the king that there is a plot against his life, guess who? Mordecai. So that's why Mordecai is an important part of the story, because he is a whistleblower. He told the king through Hatak that there's a plot, and they found these two guys, and these two guys were banished, thanks to Mordecai. And Mordecai, when he was in the presence of Haman, said, we are not going to, or I am not going to bow before you. And Haman got so angry and found out that Mordecai is a Jew. And then he went to Xerxes and said, King Xerxes, there's a group of people in our captivity that they made them captive and they are slaves to us, that they don't want to bow on me. And he said, if they don't want to bow to me, they don't want to bow to you as well. See how the twist go? And Haman said, if you make an edict, an order sealed by your ring to kill, actually it's not only to kill, destroy and kill and annihilate those people who don't want to bow down to you. That was the order that is in the mind of Haman, because he did not outgrow, he did not move on with forgiveness. The ancestral hate is still there for Haman from Esau, their great-great-grandfather. And then Haman bribing the king and said, my dear king, if you give this edict, all of the people, all of the places I know, I will ask them to contribute more, thousands and thousands to your treasury. And the king said, sounds a good idea. Okay, all right, let me give you the edict, the order. And the order was sealed by the king's ring, translated into every languages, and it was carried by the courier to all 127 provinces. And here comes the big problem. All those who don't bow to Haman and to the king will automatically be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. What shall we do now? What are we going to do now? His cousin, the cousin's name and the cousin's nationality and identity was still hidden. And she is now sitting as the queen to Xerxes. And in due time, her identity will also be revealed because of her connection with Mordecai. Mordecai went to Hatak and said, and Hatak was talking, they're talking to each other, we have seen the edict, we have seen the paper signed, and it is for certain that this month of March, on the 15th or the 17th of March, every person that's identified as Jews will be taken off, will be cut off, and all of them will be destroyed and killed and annihilated. Could you ever imagine how hard it is for Mordecai to speak to Esther? Esther is already enjoying the prosperity. She's already enjoying the luxury of the palace, being the queen, the coronated queen to Xerxes. And one simple appeal that came into Mordecai's mind is this: okay, you're comfortable there right now. And go through that verse 14, 4:14 of Esther. Can you pop this up, please? Read through. Can you read through for me, please? For if you remain silent, look at this. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you, this is the word for Mordecai, but you, Esther, but you, Hadassah, and your family and your father's family will perish. You will also perish. You think you can escape it? No, you can't. He said, you and your family will also perish. And who knows? But that you have come to your royal possession for such a time as this. Have you ever thought about asking yourself, Lord, why did you put me into this congregation? Why did you put me as a leader of this congregation? Why did you put me as a member of this congregation? Maybe we say, oh Lord, I am so comfortable now. I'm sitting here with a cushioned chair. I'm watching online on my comfortable couch. I'm comfortable. But listen, my friends. God did not just put us here to be comfortable. This is a clarion call. This is a time for us to make decisions. Decision when we always say, oh, this church is like what? Like what? Speak. What is it like? And then be careful how you describe it because it will come back to you. This church is like the house where love is present and love and hope and faith is expressed. I'm saying a warning, be careful how you describe it because it may come back to you. You may be comfortable as what Mordecai said, but listen, if you will not rise up, Mordecai said, if you will not do your part as a queen that has been placed in possession now with King Xerxes, probably you will escape death, annihilation. But the words are so strong. You may be spared, but how long? We don't know. How long? I don't know. But listen, you always talk about music. Come down, sing with us. Come down, sing with us. We always talk about finances. Come down, put your offering on the plate right here. Come down. We need leaders. Come down. We need you here. Come down. You have talents. Come down. Rise up. Because this is the time that God is calling us. We are all family, are we? I am your family member talking to you. Amy is one of my longest sister that I've known, and Tuto. Because when I came here many years ago, they were the two people that really stick with me. And of course, Brother Moses, and Brother Tonde, and Brother Franklin, and the Garcias, and the Celis, and Bill O'Reilly and Barbara O'Reilly. They stick, and we stick together. And we made a difference. And I've known them for quite a long time. And I will tell you, we started prayer. Esther, upon hearing the words from Mordecai, said, I don't want my people to be destroyed and killed and annihilated. And Esther said, say to Mordecai, pray with me, pray for me. Because there is a law in the land of King Xerxes that if the king will not call you or summon you, and you go there without permission from the king or without a summon from the king will just cut you and destroy you and kill you. And Esther said, pray for me. For 3 days. For 3 days. She said, do not eat. do not drink. And I also call my maid servants and the eunuchs that takes care of me, that we will also come and pray together. For 3 days we will fast, we will pray together. And then ask God to give me strength, because what she believed, if I perish with my people. My dear brothers and sisters in the Lord, I have known you for quite some time now. If I perish, I'll perish with you. If I go up and succeed, I will go up and succeed with you. That's where my heart is. You want to dissect it? Dissect it. But there's only one thing that I want to say. We want to go an extra mile. We can go together. You want to go, just stay put here and then say, push them, let them go. We can do that too. But in such a time as this, don't ever underestimate your contribution, not just your money, your presence. Your smile is a contribution to the kingdom. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. And do not underestimate the power of your prayer. Because God needs that prayer. God needs the prayer. We need the prayer right here, right now. And Esther was saying, if I will perish with my people. Because the truth is, Mordecai already said, if you will not do your part, probably God will do something else on the other side, at the other place. With or without you, God will still restore His people. God will still build up His church and His people, with or without you, or without me. So the challenge for us is this. While we have the capacity, we just don't say, where's our young people? Hey, they are here. They just need opportunities, and we give them opportunities to be a part of us. We train them. We expose them. And then we ask, where are the older people? They are also here. We are the middle-aged people. Why is it that when they go to college, they are gone? Don't ask me. Let's ask ourselves, what are we missing? What are they missing? If you want to see the ocean, you have to be ready to step out of the shore. There's an ocean of opportunities out there for us. The ocean is too wide, too big, too huge to conquer and to discover. All we have to do is to get out of our comfortable shores and reach out to the opportunity that God is opening for us. I don't know. I'm just saying, this might be my last sermon with you. So I make this a point of saying, if it's my last sermon, so be it. If I perish with you for this last sermon, I'll perish. If I continue with you for the next sermon, I'll continue. It is God who wills it. I just make myself available today. And if God wills it for such a time as this for me to respond to the need, I will respond to the need. And if God wills it, so we'll all rise together. And if God wills it, we will all also be destroyed together. It's a choice. You make your choice. And if I were you, choose what Esther did. And when she said, pray for me for 3 days and 3 nights, day and night. Let's fast. Let's pray. And then when I get to the king, I will be an instrument of bringing the concern not only to save myself, but to save my people. My dear brothers and sisters, the Lord, the call is in our hands. What's your response? Let's pray. Speak to me. Make it your song. Speak to me. Speak to me, Lord, through your word, through your power, through your wisdom. Speak to me. I am listening. I am waiting. Lord, speak to me. Speak to me. Amen.